Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Before we start, I am very aware that I look completely different to how I normally look. Last night I got a little bit bored and I decided, do you know what? It would be a really good idea if I shaved and had a real look at what I look like clean shaven. So yeah, I have lost all of the facial fuzz. It's the first time I've shaved cleanly, like with a razor, for about 8 years. I now look like the average age of the children I teach. In fact, there's probably some children in my class that actually look older than me right now, but nonetheless, it will grow back. And I at least now know that, yeah, I definitely need to keep on the facial hair to look anything over the age of 12. Right, with that out of the way, today's video, I want to look at a bit of literacy work. We're going to look at stories. We're going to look at how to make your story making a creative process. There's going to be a bit of drawing involved, a bit of creative thinking, and we're going to look at how we can plan a story or a piece of work and how to write descriptively and talk about and describe characters. So that's the plan for today. So as long as you can hold off from laughing too much at the fact that I now look at about 12, we will get into the video and hopefully it will be entertaining. I mean, it's already entertaining because I can't help but laugh at myself when I look in the mirror. So, without further ado guys, let's get into the video. So, all you need for today's activity is the following. You are going to need at least one piece of paper, one piece of paper per character. So if you want to make multiple characters, then please get more pieces of paper. You need a pencil or a pen, and you will then need some lined paper or a book if you have a book with you. Because the book is what you're going to write your story in, the paper is what you're going to plan and draw your characters out with. Then you need some help. Now if you want to, you can do this by yourself, you can do it with some siblings, you can do it with your parents, really doesn't matter, or you can just be creative by yourself. Now, we are going to fold this piece of paper up. If you need some help folding, please ask mum and dad or anyone else that you feel can support you. You're going to fold this paper into 3. So you are going to essentially fold the piece of paper into 3, as you can see. The idea of this, and this is why it usually works, this activity usually works better if you are doing this with multiple people, is you're going to fold it in 3. The top half is going to be for the head, the middle part is going to be for the body, and the lower part is going to be for the legs. This was an activity I often did as a kid. This is an activity that I'm sure you guys will enjoy as well. Now, you're going to fold it, you're going to have it so it is a strip. You are then going to draw the head on the top part. This can be a normal head, like a human head. You can draw it like a pirate. You can draw it like an alien, a robot. You can draw whatever you want, but it needs to be some sort of head shape. You can draw hair, you can draw hats on it, you can draw what you want. Then the middle section is going to be for the body and the arms. Again, you can be as creative as you like. It can be the body of like a lion or an animal. It can be a body of a normal human. It can have tentacles, it can have arms, it can have robot arms, it can have sticks out the side. It really doesn't matter. And then obviously for the bottom half, or the bottom third, you are going to be drawing the legs or the lower part. Again, it doesn't have to be legs. It could be a tail. It could be whatever you want. Alright, the idea is to be as creative as possible. Now, I'm going to show you an example of one that I have created, and you will see what I mean, and this character should take on a form of its own. Usually it's better to create this with multiple people so that everybody's ideas are going into one character, and at the end of it you should have a really fun, creative character to then write about. Alright guys, should we have a look to see what we have created? What on earth is that? I wanted to draw a nice robot, and then what? What do you call this? It's a robot with tentacle arms and, well, your legs. Well, suppose it'll have to do. Okay guys, so as you can see, by folding your piece of paper up, the first person draws the head, in which case, in this scenario, it is a robot. They then fold it, pass it on to the next person. When you do that, it's really important that you make sure that the neck has gone over into the next page so they know where to draw from and that it's all connected. Next person draws whatever they want, the middle part of the character. So in this case, it's some spotty tentacle thing. And then that person, without looking at the head, turns it over again. And then the last person, again, connecting the bottom to the top, draws the bottom half, which leaves you with a really funky character. Now obviously I've just drawn this in pencil. You can use colours, you can use pens, you can be as creative as you want with it. This process, although it is very creative, the idea is it's quite a quick process. You're passing it from person to person, and what you can always do is, if you are working in a group, perhaps if you're working with your siblings, like your brothers or your sisters, or you're working with mum and dad, you can draw one each, and then every single time someone's finished, you can pass it on. So everyone starts with a piece of paper, they draw a head, you then pass it to the next person, they draw a body, you pass it to the next person, and you draw legs. And then you have got yourself a funky character. So once you have got your character and your characters are all drawn up, you, each person essentially, or you can do it as a group, it's up to you. I want you to describe that character. Because let's be honest, this is quite a difficult character to describe to somebody to get a really good idea and understanding of what this character looks like. Now obviously you can draw it, or you can create a little version of this and stick it in your writing, but really you want the writing and the story to really build up an imagination in the reader's head. So using your adjectives, what I would suggest is getting a pen or a pencil, okay, is to write and label your character, and this would essentially be your plan. So you can use expanded noun phrases, you can use adjectives all off the side of it to really describe it, and obviously it will really help if you colour these in as well. So what you could do is you could draw them in pencil, then you can go back to your original one, so whoever had the head to start off with, and then you can go through and you can colour them in. Or you can make a bit more of an effort with it, and you can then pass it back round, and each person can colour the head, the body, and sort of the legs. And then from there you have some really interesting, intricate characters that you can describe and that you can write about. Now, having written your adjectives, your expanded noun phrases on your sheet, you have now built up a picture as to what your character looks like without having to necessarily look at it. So, wide shiny metal head, wide open rectangular mouth, sticky squelchy suckers, purple, yellow and green spotted belly, and then long wispy brown tail. So you're starting to build up a picture of what your character looks like in sort of a written form. And obviously the more detail you include in this, guys, the better the picture is going to build up in your reader's head. The more detail in your stories in terms of adjectives, expanded noun phrases, using all of that grammar that you have been taught in class, the better. Imagine your favourite book. Your favourite book is full of descriptive words, full of action, full of all of the grammar that you probably know how to do in class but don't necessarily put pen to paper. So really focus, and I know I've told you guys this many times before, really focus on putting as much detail into your plan as possible, and then it makes writing your story an absolute breeze. So once you have finished all of your plan and you are happy with it, you have some really funky looking characters, you are now ready to write your story. There's not really a lot I want to talk about in terms of the story other than making sure that you are focusing on your punctuation, your spelling, your grammar, your handwriting. Really focus on that nice cursive handwriting. And honestly, the only way to get your handwriting better, to get your writing better, and to remember all of the punctuation and the grammar that you have been taught is to practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get. And with activities like this, you can have real fun with it too. So there you go, guys. That is my sort of literacy writing activity that you can give a go at home. You can do it in the garden whilst enjoying your lunch. Drawing these pictures is super fun and you'll have a lot of laughs doing it. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And then what's even more fun is if you do it as a little group, you can then create your own stories. If needs be, you can create a chapter per person, and then you put all your stories together and see what fun adventures your characters can have. And why not create funny names as well? That's another really good idea. Each person comes up with a word, put it in a hat, pull each word out, and that is the name of your character. In fact, I'm going to do that with these guys now. Your go. You done? Alright, pass it on to him then. Alright, buddy. I'm sure you're finished now. Let's have a look. Really? The Great Duke Smelly Pants. The Great Duke Smelly Pants. Does he look like he is the Great Duke Smelly Pants? He's not even wearing any pants. Guess it'll have to do. Alright guys, so that is the end of today's video. A little literacy task, activity and drawing activity that you can play around with. You can do all sorts of things with this. We've obviously together drawn the Great Duke Smelly Pants, an interesting character with a robot head, an octopus style body and a dog style legs. You can do this for buildings, so you can make a building with the roof, the central part, and then the ground footings, like the lower path. You could draw a crane, I suppose. Pretty much anything works with this. Like I say, the biggest thing is make sure that when you fold it, that they connect properly so that the next person knows where to draw from. Have fun with it. Make sure that you do some really nice descriptive writing using these characters and using the sets and various other bits and bobs that I'm sure you're going to have fun drawing. And go a little bit further than me. I've just done it in pencil and labelled it in pen, but I strongly encourage you to get out the colouring pencils or the pens and colour these in so that they're super fab and they look amazing. So, on behalf of me, my two troublemakers here, and the Great Duke Smelly Pants, we will see you next time. Bye!